The following is a local resident producer's program. The program content is the sole responsibility of the producer and does not necessarily reflect the views or policies of CATV2, Oshkosh Community Media Services, the City of Oshkosh, or Time Warner Cable.
Hi everyone, welcome to Eye on Oshkosh. Cheryl Hentz along with Dan Rylance, and on this edition we're very pleased to be joined, at least in the first half, by a gentleman who is an owner of one of the more new restaurants in town, Beckets restaurant. If you've not been there yet, please do go down and check it out. They've got a lot of different things going on, and those are some of the things that Chris Larson is here to talk with us about tonight. As we said, Chris Larson is the owner, and welcome. We're pleased to have you here.
Nice Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
There's some very interesting things that you guys have started down at Beckets to basically help local nonprofits and so forth.
Yep.
And the first one, you just started toward the end of April, I believe.
Yes.
It is a celebrity chef night. So how did the idea for Celebrity Chef Night come about?
A good question. It was posed to us by a friend of the restaurant and a friend of mine named Mike Russell, who owns Great Estates down on Main Street, and he brought it up, and we literally just ran with it thereafter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the first one was held on I think the 28th of April.
I think that is correct.
And you know, each week that you have this, it's a different celebrity chef.
Correct.
Going to benefit a different local nonprofit.
Whichever one they choose. Yes.
Right, and so far I think you guys have done fundraising celebrity chef nights for the Grand Opera House, the Oshkosh Area Humane Society,
Wisconsin League of Conservation Voters.
I know. It was something like that. Wow. And there was one other one I thought
Grand
too.
Opera House again.
Oh, you did it for them twice?
Two times.
They
it can
had
be
two people
as many as anybody would like to for whatever they want to.
Okay. So how does this work, Chris? You know, someone wants to be a celebrity chef. Do they contact you? Do you guys seek people out?
They contact us. It's open to anybody. The word celebrity is just, everybody's a celebrity in that sense. It's it's about going out and doing what you want to do for something you believe in. So it is literally open to whomever wants to, and you pick a charity, you set the menu, you write the recipes, and the involvement beyond that is up to the person. You can be as involved as, we've had people in the kitchen baking cakes, making cookies, that kind of stuff. You can also be hands-off, and you can write the recipes, give them to us, or you can tell us about what you want, and we'll handle it from there on out.
So if Dan here wants to be a celebrity chef.
I was going to ask him what date he wants. It's coming up, I'm sure.
He bakes.
I'll check my calendar.
He bakes very well.
That's good.
He bakes well.
Yep.
We've all been treated with his baked goods in the past.
Yeah, I like desserts.
That works.
So say Dan wants to be a celebrity chef.
Yes.
He contacts you, and then he says, what, I want to bake brownies that night. Brownies and maybe some cupcakes or something, I don't know.
Sounds good.
And then he can either do all the cooking himself in your kitchen with your equipment.
Correct.
Does he provide all the ingredients?
Nope, we provide everything.
Okay,
that's
even better for you.
We're sort of the facilitation for the charity, and that's our contribution, is the work and the time and the effort. We do the advertising, we provide you with promotional materials to go with you. We do posters in-house, we do in-house advertising and POS, we do Northwestern, we do everything we can.
Now,
including coming here.
If I prepared this, I would have to prepare more than brownies and cupcakes, right?
You wouldn't have to not necessarily prepare. You could tell us.
But we would need more than that.
Unless you want just brownies and cupcakes
no, I don't
for your
think
whole
that
menu.
would be a big
Brownies first, cupcakes second.
I don't think so.
Cake. No, all right.
No.
What are you thinking, Dan?
Well, I'm just thinking it's you know.
That's a good question.
I could do the dessert part, and you could do the main course. Is what I'm thinking.
Teams are more than welcome.
As long as you volunteered me, I thought I should volunteer.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, I have cooked in restaurants before, and I do cook at home. So.
Do you still have that big white hat?
No, but I somewhere probably still have the white jacket.
I don't have one of those.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I could get one.
We can make arrangements.
Give us an example. Let's go back to the first one. What did the first people What did they have on their menu? What did they serve? We need some help on this.
They
if
had,
we're gonna.
they had a mixed green salad to start with.
All right.
With strawberries and feta, I believe.
Okay.
It was a very good marinated pork tenderloin, second, which was great. And then the third was homemade carrot cake. It was wonderful. So the aim is 3 courses.
3 courses.
It's 3 courses, price fixed.
Entree, main deal, and dessert, huh?
And you could choose, be it appetizer first or a soup first, or you choose whether or not you want to do the dessert part. Determines your first course. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You don't have to bake. You can do it without a dessert as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And help me out with this again, Chris. I think you mentioned it, but you threw a lot out there at me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. It just bears repeating. When you get to be our age, we don't comprehend it quite as fast.
Thanks, Cheryl.
All right, when you get to be my age. Pricing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who sets the pricing for this?
We are aiming for $25 price fix, and we donate 20% of that, so $5 to whichever charity it is.
Okay.
And that's where the restaurant staff helps you as the theoretical chef get things into the right price points to be sold for a fair price, because that's what we're trying to do with everything. It's not going to be more, it's not going to be less.
Okay.
But that's the facilitation leaves that extra $5 at the end to be donated to the charity.
Okay.
The bar is yours for profit. That's not part of the meal, right?
It is not, although part of the meal is, a signature cocktail is the 4th course.
Oh, so you get 1 drink.
Yes. You don't. No, it doesn't come with it.
It doesn't come with.
It is, well, it's another question coming somewhere along the line, maybe, but this is, we're viewing this as a year-long competition.
Okay.
And there will be a larger donation in kind to the winningest chef at the end of the year.
Wow.
And
it's a contest, too.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be competitive.
Yeah, no,
everything is. The cocktail exists as a tiebreaker if need be, or an extra point value, not donation. And it makes it even more fun. I mean, a signature cocktail with a signature menu is even better.
So each celebrity chef then would pick what they want.
Correct.
A cocktail.
Yep.
Okay, so
that's been good cocktails so far.
That's a mixed drink, is what you have to say?
Or whatever you think.
Could be wine.
Could be wine.
Champagne.
Could be champagne.
Okay.
We've done a black margarita on Cinco de Mayo that was fantastic.
Ooh.
Last week was we called it a grown-up Arnold Palmer, as in it was infused tea, vodka, and lemonade, which was good.
Ooh.
So are you seeing people, now that we're moving into the, well, first of all, how many chefs do you have lined up for?
We've got 1 in July. Michael Solana is coming to benefit the food pantry, which is wonderful.
Okay.
1 pending without details in August, 1 pending without details in June.
And you're just doing it once a month?
No,
or every Tuesday?
We will do it as much as people want to.
Okay.
That's the right answer. The other point is, when we don't have a chef at the restaurant, we're going to do a $25 price fixed menu every Tuesday. That might mean a different member of my staff steps up and writes a menu. Might mean I write one. Might be somebody we grab off the floor one night does it. And that's where Beckets will choose a charity of our own choosing on those nights.
Okay.
As in, next Tuesday we don't have a chef, and I think our sous chef Garrett will likely write the menu, and we will benefit Pride of Place for Light the Bridges.
Okay. All right.
What has been your attendance so far?
In the neighborhood of 70, 80 people on Tuesday night is fantastic.
Wow.
That's very good.
That's very good.
Yeah, you got to be pleased with that.
Very much so.
Oh yeah, they got to be pleased with that.
And it's fun for everybody, which is what I like most about the thing. I mean, not everybody gets a chance to come into a kitchen or a restaurant and make decisions and make the thing go. That's a rare opportunity. You either like it or you hate it. And it's a way for the nonprofits to, it's not a massive amount of money every Tuesday, but anything helps no matter what. And I like to think of it as that they get the benefit of it without having to do much of anything at a time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know, celebrity chefs, you should really try and get Chef Gordon Ramsay. I mean,
we are working on it as we speak.
What a draw he would be. You know, you mentioned $25. Now that's 25. That's not $24.95. Because one of the things I noticed, I've been to your establishment a couple of times, and I've noticed. You know, so many restaurants, it'll be like $7.95 or $12.95, something like that.
Like gasoline.
It's you don't have any of those odd. You don't have any of those odd numbers at the end. You know, after the decimal point, it's zeros, and that's it. And you know, that just that's refreshing. You know, I haven't seen that in some time.
Because so many people, it's always 95 or 98, isn't it?
Yeah.
On everything you buy, almost.
Yeah. Now, as far as you know, gratuity, how does that work for something like this?
It's not included. It's up to just like it normally would be.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right.
Can I ask one question?
Sure. Yeah.
Where do you come up with the word Becket?
A good question. That is the name of the architect who designed the Park Plaza Mall.
Oh.
At the time, was the largest architectural firm in the world, I believe. Yep. He was he designed the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in LA, LAX Airport, Capitol Records building. and he was hired to come here by Ted Leahy because they were looking for the best architect in the country at the time.
Do you have a picture of him in the restaurant?
We have a very nice book that sits in the bar if you want to read about it for the most time. But he's an impressive guy, and that seemed to be the proper way to name it. I think an underappreciated fact for the city is that good an architect designed that, in my opinion, good a building.
Yeah, it's a little integrity to it.
Yeah. Well, and you know, you've not been there yet, right?
I did once for lunch. Yeah.
You know, it was interesting to see where you guys did the addition because it's almost seamless. You know, it's very hard to tell where the addition is and where the original building stopped. I think. Just
it's an interesting point. We didn't actually add anything, if you can believe that. Not to.
Okay, but
we connected two buildings. Is what we did.
Okay.
There was a courtyard between the two, and we added. We had added a portion.
So you did add something.
And I didn't mean to. I was trying to correct it.
You're making me wonder about what.
But they didn't destroy the integrity of the architect's thing.
No.
It's still.
But it does look seamless.
Thank you.
I mean, it really does.
Thank you.
And it's just a very, very nice place. I think it's a great venue for something like this because it's very relaxing. As we were talking about before we started taping, you've got a couple of meeting room type things,
which I have seen and are incredibly nice.
Yeah, a couple of private rooms and a banquet hall as well.
These people for these things sit in the main part?
And it's open to all. We look for reservations 4 days ahead of time, so up to the Thursday ahead of time, just so we can plan for an amount.
And what's your time for serving usually?
5 till 10 on those days. Yep. But it's also open. We have some general patrons who are there on Tuesdays anyway who take us up on it. That's a good thing. It's open to anybody. You don't have to know you're going to do it ahead of time. You can pick and choose. If you get there and you don't like the menu, you don't have to have it.
You could walk in without a reservation?
Correct.
Do you recommend reservations?
Very, very much so.
That would help.
It took it was a 45-minute wait on Tuesday if you didn't have a reservation. So.
Wow. Okay. And you know, it is a very nice looking place, and yet you are right on the water. There's no real dress code.
None. We wear jeans, and I don't tuck in my shirt on purpose.
Oh, there you go. And I've seen people there in shorts and sandals.
They come straight off the boat, and that's perfectly
some
acceptable.
Get very dressed up, or they come just dressed up straight from work. So if somebody wants to do this, Chris, and they just don't feel competent to put together a menu on their own, you folks can assist
we will
them
do
with that.
Any or all of the above. It doesn't matter. Literally whatever involvement level anybody wants to have is fine. It's about
that's
the
really
end result.
very generous of you guys. I mean, that really is.
Thank you.
That's putting yourselves out there a lot. I think.
I mean, we're already there. We're already open for business. It's a good thing to do when it's not all that difficult. So it's good.
It's a wonderful marketing tool for places just started.
That's true too.
Don't you think? I mean,
absolutely.
It's not. I mean, hey, gee, well, I'm
no,
going to Beckets. They had celebrity places.
And to us, a restaurant should be more than just a place you go and eat every so often. There's more to it than that. It should be. It doesn't need to be entertainment, but there's a responsibility to do more than that. I think, especially in a community like Oshkosh.
Yeah. You know, I've been there, like I said, a couple of times, and there's always been a good crowd there. You've been open now,
it's
8
months, 9 months?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a year in August.
How has business been overall?
We've been very, very pleased.
Yeah. Even without something like this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you have a Sunday brunch at all?
Yep.
You do? What are the hours on that?
10 to 2 every Sunday.
Okay. So celebrity people could do a Sunday brunch as opposed to an evening, or would that be?
Not necessarily. Just Tuesdays is what we're trying to do with the celebrity chef.
Yeah, you got to keep that under. Yeah. Okay.
So see, you can't go down there on Sunday, Dan, and do this.
Really?
You can come have brunch though.
I'm going. Yeah.
That's right.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Do you want to? Do you have anything else?
No, I think we should go to this other exciting thing that's going on now, which is Views and Brews.
Yes.
What's Views and Brews?
What's Views and Brews? Views and Brews takes place in our banquet hall, which is the center court area of what used to be the Park Plaza Mall, the big atrium you can see from wherever. And it is, the short answer is, it's a forum discussion with a panel of experts on a subject. There is a bar there if you'd like to have cocktails. There's also coffee is the other brew portion. So beer or coffee is both a brew. And followed by entertainment of some sort. Last time was KWT4, the Tom Thiebaud jazz funk combo.
Okay.
And it's just a discussion on important subjects, led by a group called Square One from, I think, loosely affiliated university program.
Yeah.
But grassroots.
Tell us about the first one. What was it about, and what was your response on it?
Sure. The first one was on race in Oshkosh.
Race in Oshkosh.
And it was great panel, I thought. I wish I could remember all the names
Yeah,
now on it, but
okay.
I can't. It was some university professors, a teacher from Appleton,
Okay.
and it was really well attended. I was very impressed. I think there were 70, 80 people there on a beautiful Thursday night,
Wow.
and it was a very polite and concise discussion on race in the city, which is amazing to me.
So the panel sort of would lead off?
There's
Okay.
a gentleman named Paul Van Aken who
Right.
runs Square One.
Okay. And he's an assistant professor of
Correct.
sociology and environmental studies at UWO.
Thank you. That was the information I should have had ahead of
Okay,
time.
no. Yeah, I
he
got it
served.
right
He served as moderator,
Uh-huh.
and he kind of posed questions to the panel first, and then the audience had a chance to respond.
Okay. So then the audience could ask questions of the
Very
panelists
much
and
so.
have an
It
exchange going back and forth.
Looked a lot like a presidential something or other, where we set up a microphone in the middle, and whoever wants to can come up and ask a question to the panel or give their own feedback on it.
Okay.
And I thought
Orderly and went well?
very much so.
Yeah,
We're
that's
very
important.
impressed.
Yeah.
I believe the next one is on agriculture, which should be good as well. And that's
And we think in August?
it's
is it?
early August,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Are you looking to just do this quarterly, or if this really takes off, Chris, could it possibly be, you know, a twice-a-month thing, or if it really takes off, a weekly thing?
Certainly could be, any of the above.
Okay.
And
See,
we're-
Cheryl, I think this fits us a little bit better than being chefs. We could have an Eye on Oshkosh. We could host a discussion. We could pick the topic. We could set up the panelists, and we could be co-moderators of a topic, and we don't have to cook.
It'd be wonderful.
That's true.
You don't have to cook for the
but
chef
there's
one
no,
either, but
benefit to a local nonprofit then, or can it be that way?
it certainly could be. It was free of charge the last time, and we'd love to keep it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think the benefit is to the community at large, because you get a large or medium-sized or
Yeah.
any size group of people there to talk about something in a way they wouldn't normally talk about
See,
it.
I was switching to Views and Brews. I was getting away from the celebrity thing. They don't have, there's no money made or donated from Views.
None at all.
So we're going to do Views and Brews.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
There you go. Can you bring cameras and do it? Film it, put it on TV?
I don't know whether we could do that or not. Cheryl has a lot of
Oh,
if
yes.
anyone can do it,
Yeah,
Cheryl can
yeah.
do
There
it.
you go.
Yeah.
Well, but it is on Thursday nights, and that is
Yeah.
when we tape, and
Yeah.
so wouldn't that be interesting?
It would be.
Uh,
I got a wagon we could put the cameras on. There you go.
It's only a couple blocks. We'll walk them.
You know, I mean, just kind of thinking out loud here, that might be a good venue for someone to host a candidates forum or a political debate
Absolutely.
during campaign
Indeed.
season.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Paul, with his background, thinks about that same way.
Okay. All right.
We have a lot of issues on the table right now in the city of Oshkosh.
I am
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if it's civil and we have a blend of panels, which we don't normally have, I think that has potential.
Yeah. So where did this idea come from, Chris? Did they approach you?
They approached us. Paul is actually a friend of mine from back in when I lived in Madison, played in a band. He did also, and we knew each other from doing that years ago, and then we were reconnected when I moved back here. He showed up at the restaurant, and then he got to thinking, and we got to thinking, and he put it all together for the most part, and we facilitated it again, but it was very well done, I thought.
Okay. Well, I just, you know, like I said, this is really putting yourselves out there a lot, especially with the Celebrity Chef Night. Now, so on Thursdays for Brews and Views, I keep wanting to say Views and Brews.
I do too, actually.
Either way, you know, it works either way. They can are they able to have cocktails out there
Yep.
in that atrium area?
That we set up a
Okay.
bar, and
Okay.
there are cocktails available and coffee from Planet Perk, typically.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
that's what
All
happened the first time. I would imagine we'll keep doing that as well, just in case
So
you don't
there's a
want to.
separate bar out there.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not like they have to, you know, go into the restaurant,
Nope.
get a drink,
You
take
sit,
it back out.
sit right there, and there's a bar there.
Okay.
Set up like a panel, but on big round tables, so it's comfortable with the panel in front. And ideally, the next one takes place on the patio of Center Court, so
Yeah.
we can do it outside.
In August.
Back to
Hopefully weather will
Yeah,
cooperate.
yeah.
think
know,
very old philosophical type discussion out on the riverbank.
Well, but on Thursday nights, you know, there's also the Waterfest concert
Waterfest,
series going
yeah.
on, and so that would kind of dovetail in nicely. I mean, you're far enough away that
Oh,
they
yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
interfere with each
Nope.
other, and yet some may wander from one
Do
to
both.
the other.
You could
or
absolutely do both.
both.
That's a good point, because it's not something you have to be there and stay for the whole discussion. People did come and go, and you certainly are more than welcome to.
Okay.
I just think you have a really nice thing going. You've got your celebrity chefs for donations to charities in the city. You've got Views and Brews. You have ideas and dialogue and conversation. And then you have your restaurant. It's sort of like becomes sort of a town meeting place.
Restaurant should be an important thing.
Yeah,
It really ought to be.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your. Let's get back to the restaurant. Just,
Sure.
What are your? If Cheryl and I walked in there and said, you know, what are your 1 or 2 most popular things we want to have tonight? What would you recommend?
Good question. We've been talking about salmon since I got here.
Yeah, okay.
It is fantastic. Fresh salmon grilled with a mango chutney is good.
Okay.
We also do a panko rolled teriyaki salmon.
Okay.
We're lunch and dinner 7 days a week, excepting brunch on Sundays.
Okay.
So most popular, I believe, is still the shaved ribeye sandwich, and that's prime rib shaved in a sandwich form.
What's your favorite soup you serve?
Oh, we have clam chowder. We have it all day long, every day.
Okay. Then you have another soup for the day?
Every day there's a soup of the day as well.
One?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
The clam chowder has gone over very well. People are pleased.
Now this is Wisconsin. Do we go to a fish thing on Friday night?
I certainly hope so, because we have a fried cod.
Okay.
We do fresh lake perch every Friday as well.
Okay.
We have to have a fish
fry. So you wouldn't have to have salmon on Friday night. We
oh, no,
go with cod or
no, we're traditional Wisconsinites in the end.
That's good.
Saturday is prime rib, Sunday is roasted chicken, etc., etc. We are built-in traditional Wisconsinites.
And you know, let's talk a little bit about your background.
Sure.
You know, what brings you to being a restaurateur?
A great question. This is my hometown. I grew up in Oshkosh.
Really?
Then went to school in Eau Claire and wound up in Madison and ran restaurants for a very nice group of gentlemen there for quite a while.
Okay.
And this became the next logical step. There were some sites in Madison that I was looking at to open my own place, and Oshkosh won out by a ton in the end because I love it here and I'm very pleased to be back.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because you know, in a time when we're seeing so many businesses leaving Oshkosh, you know, it's refreshing to see someone young, enterprising like yourself who does want to come here. What was the draw that made Oshkosh win out over, you know, Madison or somewhere else for that matter?
Thank you to start with, but for me it was the waterfront, I think, for the most part, and it was. I mean, there are some great restaurants in Oshkosh, some places I really like, but I think we're in need of more. And to me personally, that's kind of the first step in growth in terms of economy. It's restaurants, it's hotels, it's that kind of stuff to start with, and the rest develops from there. That's just me personally.
We always talk about economic development. Is this something that you initiated, or did the city fathers with economic development say, Chris,
nope,
come on aboard?
I was asked by someone to come look at a site in Oshkosh, and that one didn't work.
Okay.
And then the one in City Center did work.
Okay.
So there was an initial reaching out, but it wasn't from a city father.
Okay. So there's a lot of initiation from you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from you.
Yep.
You found a place. Yeah.
And no TIF money involved?
No TIF money involved.
No economic assistance from the city whatsoever?
Bid, yeah.
Okay.
A little bid grant.
Chamber of Commerce at all?
We're members.
Okay. No. I mean, they didn't say, come on in, Chris.
No, just bid. But Chamber is fantastic. We love them a lot.
Yeah, okay.
They're great neighbors.
How large of a staff do you have?
We're about 60.
Full and part-time?
Full and part, yeah. Mainly part-time, of course.
Okay. I'm sure that the 60 is on the high end for the summer months.
Yes. Yep, that's what we ramp up to for having the patio open and extra people on all the time. Plus banquets is extra people all the time.
And you know, speaking of the patio and so forth, I know some patios are just for drinks and that kind of thing. Can people actually eat on the patio at your place?
Okay. Of course.
All right. Okay.
How about slow days, slow weeks, slow months? How do you keep track of what?
Of course.
Yeah. What's your best night of the week? Traffic-wise?
Busiest night of the week is Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
Not Friday.
Nope.
Okay.
Love it to be.
Yeah.
I think Oshkosh is and I can vouch for this because if it's a Friday night, I know where I'm going for fish. And it's Beckets now, but I grew up here, so there are so many.
There are a lot of places on Friday night.
There are so many fantastic places for fish.
Yeah.
I think somewhere along the line, people will add us to their list of Friday places.
Do you take reservations normally? You do.
Any night of the week for any size group.
That's one complaint about eating different places on Friday night in Oshkosh. Some places don't take reservations. And
it's hard to know who does and who doesn't.
It does, and then you're stuck at the bar for a long time because there are so many people there.
Yep.
You know, I don't mind a drink or two, but I'm not going to go drink 2 hours before I get my fish. You know, and sometimes that happens. Yeah. And like you say, I don't know what places. Well, I do now. I know. But it's not known really.
Yeah. So any night of the week,
Any night of the week for reservations, you bet.
Are there any nights that you're closed?
Nope.
Okay,
Okay, wow.
all right. I wanted to go back just for a minute. You know, we were talking about the outdoor dining and so
Yes.
forth. Obviously, you've got a huge area for parking. You've got, you know, the parking area right in front. There's the ramp if you've got overflow needs. What about boat parking? Are there?
We
can
have
you pull up?
lots of it. Yes,
Really?
it's parallel to the seawall as we speak, because that's I'm still of the presumption, I'm pretty sure it's happening, that there's a river walk coming right through that area, which would be a good thing. So we'll explore finger docks after that, but we have 240 feet worth of parallel parking.
Okay. I'm sorry, you'll explore what docks?
Oh, perpendicular to the.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I wasn't
Finger
familiar
docks.
with that. Finger
Sorry.
docks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I
So
want to
look-
pick your brain on something.
Please.
We've been talking about what they're going to do with river development since I've been on this show, I think. And there's a proposal now for part of it.
Correct.
All right, Chris, what would you do with the other half?
With the other half?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can divulge that information publicly, can I?
That's a very good answer.
It is.
And a very intriguing one.
Well,
Huh?
I think what's going there right now is okay.
Okay.
How about that
Okay.
to start with?
That's a C on an A, B, C,
I
D.
cannot give it a grade.
You
no.
cannot give it
Nope.
a
I
5
would-
on a 10-point scale?
I would be pleased to see anything there.
Anything.
Well, okay, not anything.
Okay.
but I would be pleased to see something there.
Okay.
Does that work?
Something that would be
Yeah.
successful and,
Exactly.
and add to the
Yeah.
tax
Yep.
base.
So I'm listening that maybe Chris is going to be involved in the other half?
No.
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 Okay.
We have plenty of space where we are.
Okay.
It's already a big
Okay.
restaurant.
Okay.
I would love to see more restaurants right there. It would be
Okay.
fantastic for me.
Sure.
I mean, I think that's a great area of the city. I think it's well worth developing. And like I said a second ago, I think restaurants are a fantastic first step to anything thereafter.
You know, it takes a very secure business person to say, I would love to see more restaurants there, because they're direct competition for you.
But you
And,
know,
Well, you asked the question a little bit ago. Why do we choose Oshkosh in the end? And part of the answer is there are not enough restaurants here per capita. I don't think.
Okay.
And that was where the numbers went out versus a city like Madison or Milwaukee. Is there just aren't enough. More is better.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, the competition really is not a negative thing. If you talk to people about if you have 2 together or 3 together, it's better. It's good for everybody, rather than having one here, one here, one here.
Well,
Kind of like the flower district in New York.
Well,
kind of like any car dealership you see anywhere.
State Street in Madison.
Exactly.
I mean that's it's
Yep.
one after another.
It hopefully makes all the restaurants better. I mean, you need to be pushed to change your menu. You need to be pushed to do new things. You need to be pushed to provide a better product all the time.
Sure.
What would you do to improve the city of Oshkosh?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I know we're going to speak politically.
Well, I mean, you've come here. You've made.
That's true.
Yeah, and I don't want to pin you down to real. But I mean,
No.
you know, if you had.
In watching closely the political stuff, which I do, for me, and not just because I'm tied to where I am with what I do for a living, to me the most important part is the riverfront development.
Okay, keep going on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's the city's biggest asset by far. To me, it's a Door County type of thing. It's a state street type of thing. It's a San Antonio type of thing.
Yeah.
I think it could be driven by that in a heartbeat, and that's partly why we chose that location. I think we'll see it someday.
Well, everybody's capitalizing on their waterfronts,
Yeah.
you know, and we need to do something.
Yep.
You know, it's
Oshkosh
just
has
finding the right
so
time.
much more waterfront than most cities in the world. Is baffling. I mean, look at how many restaurants there are on the water in Madison. That's where I'm coming from professionally. There are 4, I think, on 2 lakes. That's far too few, and there's no more space there. This is lots more space for lots more stuff. So that's my answer. How about that?
That's a good one.
All right,
Yeah?
excellent.
Yeah.
Chris Larson, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Owner of Beckets. They've got Celebrity Chef Night every Tuesday, and also on various Thursdays. The next one probably coming up in early August is Brews and Views. And you can go to their website. What is it?
BecketsRestaurant.com. It's 1 T.
Beckets with 1T restaurant.com. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Best
A
of luck to
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by 2 folks from Americorps. We'll be right back.
Dear Mom and Dad, well, I finally have some time off, so I'm writing to tell you that I'm doing well. We have good days and bad days over here. We try to remember the good ones and get through the bad ones. Mostly we have each other, and that's what keeps us going. And Mom, since you asked, If anyone wants to help, just tell them to contact the USO. You can't believe how much they do for us. With love, your son, Michael.
Every year, the U.S. Department of the Treasury receives about 1.4 million reports of problems with paper checks. Checks can be lost, stolen, or delayed. If you still receive Social Security payments by paper check, Treasury wants you to know about a safer, more convenient way to get your money: the Direct Express Prepaid Debit MasterCard. The Direct Express card is new and is available to anyone receiving Social Security benefits, even if you don't have a bank account. Your monthly benefits will be automatically placed onto your card account each month on the day your money is due. While other debit cards cost money, it is possible to use the Direct Express card for free to make purchases, pay bills, and get cash at thousands of locations nationwide. There are no sign-up or monthly account fees. No more waiting for the mail or worrying about lost or stolen checks. Call 1-877-212-9991 or visit www.usdirectexpress.com.
We were in an emergency situation. We don't have extra. We have a little bit of water and a little bit of food. A meeting place, no.
No.
I don't think we have a first aid kit.
We have tuna fish, we have beans, we have canned tomatoes,
True.
you know.
That's true, but that's really not survival food. Tomato paste.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And welcome back to the second half of Eye on Oshkosh. We're very happy to be joined now by Jennifer Janis. She is what is your position over at Americorps?
Program Director.
Program Director for Americorps, based on the UWO campus, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And also, Lynn Jaworski is here, and you work with the Americorps program as a volunteer?
Yes, I'm a member.
All right. How long?
I just started in the end of October. So
okay, so
it's my
coming
first
up
term.
on like a 6-month period now for yourself. Yep. So okay,
How do you like it so far?
I like it a lot.
All right. Okay, well, very good. Well, welcome to both of you. We appreciate you coming down. You know, we hear about Americorps from time to time, but I think a lot of people don't necessarily know much about it, and that was one of the reasons that we wanted to have you folks on tonight. I personally have heard different names associated with Americorps. Mm-hmm. You know, we hear, like in your case, Americorps Connects. Dan has mentioned
Americorps Vista.
Americorps Vista. Yeah. I've just heard Americorps by itself.
And there's an NCCC thing too.
Why all the different names, and what do they?
Good question.
You know, what do they mean?
Well, there's 3 different branches of Americorps. Yeah. So there's Americorps Vista, which does more community organizing, right. Behind-the-scenes kind of work. Then there's the NCCC program, and that's where youth 18 to 24 live on a campus together, right. And they're deployed out to about a 10-state region to do different spikes or last-minute kind of projects. Okay. And then there's the Americorps State and National programs, and that's what we are.
That's what you,
yeah. And we're organized around the Oshkosh and Fox Cities community needs. So that's the difference between the 3 programs.
Okay. What does Americorps really do? When I hear Americorps, I think of Peace Corps, and you're not Peace Corps, you're something different. The only similarity here probably is the name Corps in the name, although there may be some similar aspects of what you do. What do you do?
Well, there's actually a lot of similarities. We are also known as the Domestic Peace Corps, so we do work in our own communities to better the community, and it really depends on what the goals of the program are. Our particular goals are focused on tutoring, mentoring, youth development, and volunteer recruitment in the area.
Okay. And the fact that you're based on the campus does not mean that you're helping just campus students with anything, right? I mean,
no.
You go out to, like, for example, and what do you do?
I'm placed at Oshkosh East Alternative High School.
Okay.
I focus mostly on the volunteer recruitment, get students involved in community service, and keep track of their community service to gain credit for graduation. And then I fulfill any other needs that are within the school to help the students, the staff.
Are you on a year program then?
Yes, yeah. It goes typically from September to June or July. Okay. I started a little bit late, so I have until the end of August.
Can I ask you about your salary and your loan forgiveness? Aren't those 2 parts of the reimbursement from Americorps?
Yes,
Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, there's different time commitments. There's quarter time, minimum time,
half-time, and full-time.
Okay.
With the increase in hours that you committed to is the increase in benefits.
Okay.
I am a full-time member, so I have to do 1,700 hours of service.
That's for 1 year?
For the 10-month period,
okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
And that can be done at my site in trainings and different volunteer opportunities within the community. The loan forgiveness, my loans are deferred until my service is up. The interest is paid, and then I get an education award at the end of my service.
And that's around $5,000?
Yeah, $4,700.
Which is incredible. I mean, that's really the
right.
the heart of the recruitment is to get young people out. Have you graduated from college?
I have.
Yeah, so you get $5,000 forgiven on a loan. That's a big incentive. Plus, you get a salary, right?
Right. It's a modest living stipend, but
okay.
without having to pay my student loans, it gets me by.
Yeah. No, I think that's. So this is really geared more towards young people.
Our particular program is not.
It's not.
Yeah, we've had we have members ranging in age from 18 all the way into their 60s and 70s in our program.
Okay.
I'd say generally most of our members are in their mid-20s, but we encourage and recruit all different types of backgrounds in our program. So.
But no incentive to forgive a student loan if you're in your 40s or 50s, probably, right?
You can use your education award towards future
you can go
educations
back
for I think up to 7 years.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you wanted to go back to school, take out a loan, you'd get the $5,000 stipend if you worked for you.
Yes. Yeah, and so we have a lot of students who are either taking a break from college and trying to figure out which direction to go in, or before they go to college right out of high school, sometimes they'll take a break to do Americorps.
What if somebody knows going into this, you know, they're of our age or thereabouts, and they know that they're not going to go back to school? Do they get paid anything additional then to make up for that difference, or no?
Not in our program, but there are a lot of options for using the Education Award. You can take a class at the Tech, and you can use some of the money to buy supplies or a computer or things like that to help you in your education. So.
Okay.
No health care benefit for this, right?
Full-time members and I believe half-time members do receive insurance.
Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't know
Dental
that.
and medical.
Yeah.
It's better yet, right?
Yeah, it is. Now, we mentioned Peace Corps a minute ago. John F. Kennedy established the Peace Corps, and Lyndon Baines Johnson's established Americorps. It was part of the War on Poverty. So we're really talking early 60s for
Vista.
For Vista.
Yeah, in 1994, President Clinton created Americorps, and then Vista became part of Americorps then.
Okay, well, longer doing history for a minute. Obama has proposed increases, and there's a bill in Congress, the Edward M. Kennedy Save America Act. Can you explain that a little bit? Is that a big increase in the amount of funding for Americorps?
Yeah, it actually has been signed by the President.
It has been signed.
Yep. And so over the next several years, there'll be a gradual increase both in numbers of programs and the members serving around the country, and also increases in the Education Award that goes along with that. So.
I want to go back to the age specifications for just a moment. Obviously, there's no age limit. Is there a minimum age that you have to be in order to participate?
In our program, you must be 17 years old and have a high school diploma or equivalent. But there are other programs that are called youth corps, and you can be as young as 16 to be in those programs.
All right. And do we have one of those around here, a youth corps program?
I think the closest one is in Fond du Lac.
Okay. Well, that's just down the road.
Do you start with like a week orientation somewhere with this? And if so, where is that held?
We do a lot of our trainings out at the UW Extension building, and we have what's called Team Wednesdays, and about 2 Wednesday afternoons a month we get together. And what are some of the trainings that we've done?
Team building, conflict resolution, tutoring and literacy, life after Americorps, interviewing skills, and resume building.
Yeah, first aid, CPR. So members gain a lot of skills throughout their term of service.
See, when I started Vista, I had to spend a week in Chicago for a training program.
Yep, we gear our orientation very locally and around our members. We have about 50 members who serve in the area every year, so we have enough members to train.
It's better to have it local.
Yep.
Yeah.
If someone of my age wanted to join, I mean, obviously, you know, you've got a family, you've got a full-time job. Is there a minimum number of hours a week that you have to put into this? I'm sure it wouldn't be the same number as someone like Lynn is doing.
We have what's called minimum time positions, and that's a total of 300 hours, and that can be done over a period of between 3 and 12 months. A lot of people who do those are human services students or social work students who have to do an unpaid internship, so they'll do it through us to do the 300 hours. But we also have a lot of other people who are regular volunteers at organizations, and they don't get a living allowance while they're doing it, but they do get a $1,000 education award. So
to forgive the loan, just yeah. I just signed a letter of recommendation for someone about, I don't know, a month ago that applied for the 3-month thing.
Okay.
And I think she got it, not because of my recommendation, but because she was a good person.
Do you have to be a U.S. citizen to participate in this?
Either a U.S. citizen, national, or permanent resident alien.
Okay. All right. So you have to either be a citizen or you've got to have a green card.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at East School a little bit more. Could you maybe pick a couple of projects that you know, what are you doing there?
Currently, we're kind of wrapping up and getting ready towards the end of the school year, but I've contacted and secured a local artist, John Wass, to come and work with the students on a community-themed mural.
Okay.
So they have collaborated on the idea and the content and the composition, and they've been helping painting it, obviously.
So this would be a mural in the school?
Right.
Okay.
The mural will be featured in this upcoming gallery walk,
okay.
and I'm helping set up that.
Okay.
We'll also have student showing.
Okay.
So that's kind of the big occupy.
Now, you go somewhere else during summer then, or what do you?
I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to keep getting my hours. I will do summer school there, and then there's a number of nonprofits that I'm considering.
Yeah. What are the students' reactions to a little older person, Americorps there? What kind of feedback do you get from them?
The kids, I think, really respond well to me. They come with their personal problems, their joys. I help them kind of prepare and try to get through the year. Okay. Someone's struggling with credits, try to figure out a way that they can get them.
Are you the only Americorps person at this school?
Currently I am. We did have a minimum time member when I started.
Okay. And then you obviously have contact with, you probably have, maybe not weekly reports, but you have sort of progress reports and issues that you share with each other?
Yeah, we do site visits about once a month, so a staff member from Americorps will go out and meet with the Americorps member and their site supervisor at their site. And we also do quarterly reports where we collect different information on what the Americorps members are doing.
Can you be an Americorps person for more than 1 year, or is that the limit?
The limit is 2.
The limit is 2, okay.
2 in 2 years in one branch of service, and then you could do a 3rd year in another branch. So if you did 2 years in a state program, you could do an additional year in Vista.
Okay.
So Lynn, what kinds of things do you do with the students? I know you said they come to you with their joys and some of their personal problems. Are you actually tutoring them, or what is your main function when you go into East High?
I haven't done too much tutoring. I help supervise. We have a unique situation there. We go to the YMCA for our PE class, and I help the teacher there supervise PE classes. I take a group of kids that may not want to do what the rest of the class is doing, and then we do another separate activity. I also lead a makeup class for PE for students who really need to pass the class but have attendance issues. I also try to tailor specific community service options for that student. I have a student that's interested in farm animals and FFA related, Future Farmer of America. So I'm trying to find a good match for her to do her community service with.
Okay. Well, just a thought that has occurred to me as we were talking about you being at East High. You know, the school district earlier this year sort of wrestled with whether or not East High should be kept open or it should be closed. In the event you've got a volunteer who's at a location and for whatever reason, say it would have closed, then would you obviously you'd have to find another place for poor Lynn to go so she could keep maintaining her hours, right?
Yeah, we would hope that a site wouldn't close midway through a service term. Each of our sites does have to request to have an Americorps member placed there, and they also have to pay what's called a cash match to the program to help our program run. So each site is pretty confident when they sign up for the program year that they're going to be sustained for at least that year. So
they know about the program, they're contacting you to get a Americorps person in their organization. Yeah.
Okay.
How is recruiting, and is there more people applying than you have positions for?
We're actually starting a brand new summer program that we've never done before. We got some money with the recovery funds to start a new program this summer, and we definitely have many more applicants than we'll be able to place. So it's going to be really
says
hard
something about the economic times,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, and also I just think some more publicity about Americorps is getting out too. So.
How long have you been director?
Well, I've been, I actually was a Americorps member for 2 years, and then I've been on staff for about 8 years. So.
Recently, well, May 6th through the, May 9th through the 16th was Americorps Week. Was there anything special that was done here with the local chapter to kind of commemorate or celebrate that week?
Yeah, Lynn actually headed up our activities for the week.
That's why she's smiling.
Yeah. Go, Lynn.
I had a moment of relief here. But we set up a variety of different sites to give presentations and sort of educate about our program and about Americorps in general. We were at all 3 high schools, public schools that is, and we went to Lawrence University, and we also had an informational booth at UWO.
Okay. And what kind of response did you get? I mean, were people really interested in finding out more?
It was different situations, so some of them were just kind of a lunchtime booth where they came and went as they pleased. Some situations were a class. It was a leadership class, so a high interest in serving the community already existed, so this is another way to continue that. So we did have a strong response.
Okay. You mentioned the 3 public high schools, and then you mentioned Lawrence, which of course is a private college. Is the program, Jennifer, geared more toward public schools as far as your K through 12 goes?
There are some restrictions on things that Americorps members can and can't do, and they can't promote a particular religious view. So in some cases that it makes it easier for us to work with the public schools. So we usually tend to do that.
Okay, all right.
Our presentations just happened to work out that we went to the 3 public schools.
All right.
Do you do things like with parks, recreation facilities, the water park? Anything? Are those things are within your?
Well, what we do is we ask for a position description and a site application from the sites, and then if we feel the activities that they want an Americorps member to do fit with our program goals, then we'll accept them. So we don't necessarily just work with all schools or all one type of organization. But this summer we're actually going to be adding quite a few nature centers, mostly in the Fox Valley area, to our program. So that's something new that we're doing, and we're really excited about branching out in that way.
How about UWO? Do you have Americorps people working at UWO as well?
We have some on different parts on the campus. We've got several Americorps members working at the UWO Women's Center. So that's one place where we work with.
You were just mentioning about some of the things, some of the programs or whatever that you're going to be involved with coming up this summer. Are there specific kinds of things that you look for as you're deciding whether or not it's a good fit for Americorps?
Definitely meaningful service. We want the Americorps member to get as much out of it as the site's getting for service. So we like to see that they're looking to increase the Americorps member's skills as well, and that it's not, that's just really meaningful service. I would say, if the position is around working with people, youth development, volunteer management and recruitment, those kinds of things are really the types of things that we look for.
Okay. And kind of along those same lines then, Jennifer, what kinds of skills does someone need to be a volunteer involved in a program, or can they come skillless? I don't think there's anyone who's truly skillless, but a lot of people think, geez, I don't have any skills, and they might be turned away from something like this.
Well, that really depends on our sites. They create a position description and they have a list of qualifications and things they're looking for. So if it's a particular project that they maybe want somebody with a certain type of college degree or college experience, then that would be what we'd look for that particular site. But there's a lot of our sites are willing to develop an Americorps member if they're willing to come in and work hard and make the commitment. That's what they're willing to have that person come in and teach them what they need to know to do the job. So.
Okay. You mentioned, getting some of this stimulus money and putting together some special things for the summer. Is that what you were just talking about a moment ago, or is this something separate from that?
With the summer program?
Yes.
Yeah, that's particularly for it with us using the stimulus funds.
Okay. How much did you get in stimulus money? Do you know offhand?
I don't know offhand. I wasn't the one that wrote the grant.
Okay.
I think it was about $65,000.
So you administer the grant for your operation?
I deal more with the program aspect, the programming aspect of it, yeah.
All right.
What, Lynn, back to you. You're getting so good at this. We can't just let you sit there. What have you gained personally from being involved with the program? I realize it's only been 5, 6, 7 months for you so far, but what has this meant to you so far?
Well, I graduated UWO with an art education degree, and the economy's kind of rough, so I still get to be connected to students and feel like I'm doing something important. I also get the experience of being in a school and relating to the students, to the staff, seeing kind of what goes on, developing my leadership skills and organizational skills, really become a self-starter more so than I had been.
The mural kind of fits your background, doesn't it?
And I get to use my art background a lot. Help teaching a class called Creative Crafting and the mural, and you can really find your own niche. It is what you make it.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you a lowball question. And any surprises as you started that you weren't prepared for, that kind of threw you, or anything that, oh gee, if I'd have known that, or I should have thought about that, anything like that?
I kind of came running into it with no expectations, and I mean that. I
good.
applied very late in the night, and the very next morning I had an interview, and then I had another interview, and then I started.
You didn't have time to think?
No, I didn't have time to form my expectations, so.
Okay.
Well, here we've got a situation where Lynn's got her background in art. She's doing something art-related. Do you try to set volunteers up, try to match them with experiences that will sort of dovetail and complement their background?
Oh, certainly. That's really what we look for in a really good match, is an interest area of the member and what the site's looking for.
Okay, all right.
What's your percentage of people who do not make out a year?
Well, it depends every year. It changes, and sometimes it's based on circumstances they can't control.
I understand.
But I would say we have at least a 95% completion rate usually every year.
Oh, that's wonderful. That really is. What would either one of you, you can both answer this question, you as the director of the program and you as a volunteer who's still in her infancy with the program, what would you say to someone who is sitting at home watching this and thinking, well, this might be something good for me, or this might be something good for my child, to look into? What would you say as the director to why they should pursue this?
I think it's just really a way to do something really good for your community, to give back, but also I think the thing that members don't realize when they start is how much they're really going to get out of it. It's really great. One of the best parts of my job is to see how Americorps members grow and change from the beginning of the program to the end, and they just really take off and gain self-confidence and skills, and you can tell somebody that, but until they're in the program and actually are experiencing it, that's really the greatest thing to see. So.
What would you tell someone?
I really feel connected with my community. I've gained a lot of resources, I've gained a lot of friends and contacts, and what I give out comes back tenfold. So it's a great giving experience, and there's great benefits for you.
And it'll be something that you'll be able to take with you no matter where you go. If you stay in Oshkosh or move to Washington, D.C., or wherever, it's experience that you can take with you.
It's a nice transition from finishing college to a job, and it's got to look good on your resume.
It's also a great transition from high school to college. If you're not really sure what you want to do, maybe you want to be in human services.
Well, why did you first get involved in the program?
Because I worked my way through college, and I just couldn't make another sandwich. I needed to do something important in my life. Like I said, I applied very late in the evening, and it went very quickly after that.
Applying late in the evening, was that deliberate? I mean, so that you didn't have a whole lot of time to think about it?
Oh, no, it was a rough day at work. I came home and I said, what am I going to do with my life? I have another year to wait before I can apply to jobs, so it hit me like a ton of bricks that I had a friend that was in Americorps once, and maybe that's for me. So I looked a little bit and I was like, hey, there's an Oshkosh program. I applied and I had an interview within 6 hours.
Wow. Okay.
She had a vision.
I guess so. What, you know, I'm sure you volunteered a couple of years. You've been the director of the local program for 8 now. So that's a decade of experience with Americorps. You must have some, I'm sure, a lot of unique and very touching, moving stories to tell. Can you share 1 or 2 of them with us in the 3 minutes or so that we have left? No time crunch there. No pressure. Even just one, you know, something that has really stood out. That's been.
I think every year there's always one particular member that just kind of really grows and blossoms, and I can't think of one real specific story right offhand, but every year there's always 1 or 2 that you're not sure if they're going to make it through the year, and by the end they come out and they've just done some fabulous things, and they're a totally different person than when they came into the program. And I mean, it just happens over and over and over again, and that just keeps me going and knowing that I really believe in what I do. Yeah. So,
what got you involved in the program way back when?
Well, I had heard about this program that was starting, and I kind of had heard about it in the media. And I think my mom saw an ad in the paper for a local program that was starting, so I decided to apply. And the second I started in elementary school in Kimberly, and from the moment I started, I absolutely loved it and knew that Americorps was the direction I wanted to take with my life. So,
and other than, you know, seeing so many people blossom over the years, and I'm sure you've seen dozens and dozens in your time as director, what have you gotten out of this besides that?
Well, I actually get to participate in a lot of community service activities on like a regular basis as part of my job. You know, some people go out on the weekends and volunteer here and there, but I get to do it almost every single day that I go to work. And I get to see what all the Americorps members are doing at their sites and get to travel around and see the different kids and what they're gaining from the program and how our members are affecting the community. And it just makes my job amazing.
Okay.
So.
Where are you located, and how can people get a hold of you?
Our office is in Grunhagen, South Tower, office 361.
Okay.
And we also have a website, which is www.uwosh.edu/CCDET.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
What we've been doing throughout the half hour, at least I hope they've been doing it, is putting up the Americorps.org website address. Can they get to that one locally through there?
Yep, there's a search engine on there, and if they just search for UW Oshkosh or Americorps Connects, our program will pop up.
Okay, all right, excellent. In the last minute that we have left, closing thoughts? Why should someone get involved in this?
It's a great experience. You'll be able to strengthen your community. It just makes everybody in the community better and stronger because we have this program here. So.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, Grunhagen South, you said?
South Tower, office 361.
Okay. Your phone number?
424-2244.
All right. So that's 424-2244. Grunhagen South Tower, 361. Or I'm not even going to try because I couldn't even write as fast as you said it. Just go to Americorps.org and then do the search for the local one here.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you both so very much for being here. You know, and best of luck in your remaining time with the program. Continued good luck with all of your efforts, and you know, thank you very much for what both of you do, as well as the other volunteers with the program.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, and that is going to do it for us. Thanks to the crew, thanks to our guests, both in this half hour, and Chris from Beckets in the earlier half hour. Thanks to Dan, and as always, thanks to you at home. We'll see you next time. Until then, take good care. Keep your eye on us. We've got our eye on Oshkosh.